Who's up?
What's it like to be back?
Mad Cow, you first.
I like that. What's it like to be back? Did you mill around outside at all? Did people recognize you?
No, I didn't get recognized, which doesn't bother me one bit. But it's great to be back. I mean, I love this place, and 3 of the best years of my life, and obviously great place to play baseball, but a great place to go to school as well.
The process of coming back, when did they give you caught the World Series, obviously, and just how'd that work out?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Martin after the World Series, and basically him and me, Mike Martin Jr., set it up for me, and just made the trip down today.
Did you come to a lot of football games when you were going to school here?
I went to a good bit. Yeah, I went to a good bit. I think it just kind of depended sometimes on baseball, but I went to a good bit.
Buster, did you set up a timetable for yourself as to when you thought you could make it up to the major leagues when you first started playing pro ball?
No, I've actually got that question a lot. I really didn't. I mean, I think one of my strengths is just being able to try to stay in the moment as much as possible, and try to prepare and get myself better each day. And I knew that if I was able to stay healthy, I thought I had a pretty good chance. Yeah, you know what? I don't think it has yet. I really don't. I saw a clip on ESPN today where they were running. Sports Illustrated was running their, the magazine and everything for the World Series champions, and I was kind of looking at, man, I still can't believe that. But I think it will. Maybe next spring training when you're announced as the World Series champions, that'll be nice.
You talking just about the parade itself. That was a city that was so starved for a baseball championship. They never had one. What that was like? Yeah,
it was. The parade was way more than I expected. I didn't know what to expect, but the moment we started on those cable cars, I mean, it was, 45 minutes to an hour worth of fans just screaming and going nuts. I mean, lots and lots of people, and you're right. It was a city that was wanting the championship bad, and those guys came way back in June and July when we were 7 games back. They were still packing that ballpark out. So it wasn't like they just jumped on the bandwagon. They were there the whole year.
San Francisco's a whole lot different than living in Tallahassee.
No, they're pretty much the same, aren't they? Close to the water, somewhat close to the water. That might be the only similarities. Yeah, it's different. It took me a while to get used to it, but I think that'd be the same for anywhere you go. I think that you're going to have to get acclimated to where you are, and I enjoy it now. I mean, it helps that we won a World Series too, but I enjoy it.
Will you ever be able to get used to the fanfare that comes with you, just being you now in that city, and be able to walk around or go grocery, whatever you want to do? It's going to be hard.
Right. Yeah, it will. I mean, I think that it's not a bad problem to have, but it still is something that it's an adjustment. But I think that like anything else, you adjust to it, and you make the necessary changes and that you do need in your life to have a comfortable life, and just go on from there.
Does that mean just not going out?
Sometimes, yeah. It means staying in and eating at home. Maybe when you'd rather go out to eat, but that's fine. I mean, it doesn't bother me too bad.
Coach Martin said he heard from you a few times when they were making their run out to Omaha. Did any of your former coach or teammates keep up with you much during the run to your World Series?
Yeah, I did. I checked in on them pretty much towards the end of the year, and saw when they got in the Super Regionals, and all that was pulling hard for them, and plan on keeping up with them as long as I can. But yeah, these guys here, I mean, you form a relationship when you're around a group for 3 years, and you spend more time with them than you do with your family, really. And it's this old saying, it's a baseball family, and that really holds true, because you care about what happens to people even when you're gone, and you leave, go on to something else.
Can you talk a little bit about what it was like handling that talent on the pitching staff that you had out there in San Francisco?
Well, that was one of the bigger challenges. I was actually talking to me earlier about how I think I heard Buster only describe it as a violent pitching staff, and I think that's a pretty good description, because these guys, between Lincecum, Jonathan Sanchez, Bumgarner, Matt Cain, they're all really hard throwers, and their ball moves a lot too. And not to mention our bullpen, when we've got a guy like Santiago Casilla coming in the 6th, throwing 98 with sink. Yeah, it was a challenge, but those guys are so good that they made the process a little bit easier for me.